It's recording again?
Yeah.
Cool. The name was founded through Rex's dad. They were watching Jurassic Park 3.
Classic movie.
Jurassic Park 3, and there's a line where one of the characters says, "Who hit me?" And his dad looked at him and said, "That would be a cool band name." And
I said no. I said that's not no. And then we had like other band names chosen, like we had Solar Bears, but that was already taken. Department of Homeland Obscurity's too long, so we just went with it, and now we're Who Hit Me, and we're all cool with it.
Yeah.
100,000 years. Yes, July feel like I was ripped behind the ears. What does it mean? The world is so unclear. Don't mean a thing.
Who Hit Me formed 2 years ago. Well, actually, I met Drew, our lead singer, on Craigslist when I was 17 years old. And we had played in a band called Who Hit Me, but then that broke up. We did some other things and came back about 2 years ago, him and I, and then we got our bass player Steve, and then John joined my freshman year at Carroll, and that's how Who Hit Me started.
Who Hit Me? A 4-member punk rock student band based out of John Carroll University in a small Ohio town, are following their dreams of living the grungy and rock star lifestyle. With Drew Burns on lead guitar and vocals, Rex Larkman on the drum set, Steve Wright on bass guitar, and John Gonzalez on rhythm guitar. Originally composed of Rex and Drew from their high school days, Steve and John completed the band in college and immediately clicked with the style of the band's original sound.
Well, I met John on the very first week of school my freshman year. I went to a Honey Show, which is a Pittsburgh band. They also went to John Carroll. And John was there. I met him. I overheard him talking about music and stuff. And I was like, cool. Like, I'm new to college. Like, this is cool. I'm meeting new people talking about music. And then over time, like, I befriended him. And we, as the three of us at the time, were looking for another guitarist. We're like, we don't want to be held down by anything. We don't want to be restricted by like, oh, we can only do one guitar part live. No, we want to like make as much noise and as much like layers to our music as possible. So we're like, I know this guy named John. He's pretty cool. He fits our style. He like fits our personality pretty well, and he knows how to play guitar. I think. I'd actually never played with him. And then he came to practice. He was wearing a Coca-Cola shirt. He just got off work at Coke, and it's just history. Having 4 people on stage, like when there's 3 of us, it's kind of spaced out. Like you've got Drew kind of stuck on the microphone. He has to sing. Steve is just kind of groovy. He just plays bass. He doesn't walk around much. He just does what a bass player should do. He keeps beat. He just kills it on stage. We needed another person to like keep the energy of the crowd and us up. So John fits that role perfectly. And like music-wise, like having 2 guitar parts, we think for our sound is essential. Like we need that rhythm, the strong rhythm, over like Drew's just crazy lead parts that he comes up with, or we wouldn't have a more full sound. Yeah. So John, the perfect way to put it, John, besides him being a good friend, makes the band sound more full. That's another good point. Like John can double down on bass. When our bass player Steve can't make it up to shows, John, we 3-piece it.
When he doesn't come.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing for this show coming up.
With the addition of John's guitar skills, it took the band's sound to a whole new level, following the inspirations from their favorite bands.
We like to say we're like punk alternative.
But we've been told like we sound what someone said the greatest compliment I've ever received is someone called us Guitar Hero, like rock, and hence the Guitar Hero guitars. But
That's class. That's
like that was a great compliment. We're like, holy shit, that's so cool. But yeah, punk rock alternative. Someone at the last show that we played, they said we have like Queens of the Stone Age influence too. It's like, whoa, awesome. Like
Which we kind of do.
Yeah, we do. The new stuff has some, but I don't know.
Mhm.
Why not? I'll take the compliment.
Yeah.
Like drumming influences, the band Sean. Like I like a lot of complex drumming rhythms and stuff, so like math rock. But I also listen to like pop, like post-hardcore, anything rock. I even love like rap and stuff because jamming out to rap is like a great exercise to drum to. But like for this band in particular, just whatever we feel really, whatever we like to play, we just go for.
Yeah, and I really just like punk rock and like pop punk and like stuff like that, like 90s pop punk and stuff like that. And I think like I've kind of added a little like remnants of that in our music
For sure.
like because we all kind of bring something to the table.
Yeah, we're all coming from different backgrounds, but it's all kind of in the same, like, I don't know, Drew has always been a punk rock guy, John's, like, more emo style
Yeah.
of punk.
Mhm.
I was just listening to Black Dahlia Murder, and then I'll go to, like, smooth jazz and a little bit later, and then our bass player, Steve, I don't even know,
Very indie.
he listens to indie
yeah.
stuff, he looks like every other bass player out there,
That's
so.
when we'll cut to Steve.
Just have him sitting there.
Just insert his face on screen.
I would say, I mean, maybe a little bit, but there is so many like labels looking for like punk rock artists, and our singer said something in another interview that really like stuck with me. As long as there's something to protest, there will always be punk rock, because punk rock is basically protest music. It's like
Not all of our songs are
not
protest.
we
hate
don't
speech.
we don't write protest music, but punk rock in the sound is very protesty. It's like my parents don't like this music, so I'm gonna listen to it. So
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, there's definitely like niche audiences out there. Like there's a scene for emo, there's a scene for heavy, there's this like pop dominates Billboard charts, and we're kind of like on the, I'd say we're punk, but we're still like, we have poppier tunes as well. So I feel like we have a little bit of something there for everyone, but I mean, I don't know.
yeah, we
Take
have
a listen.
I say we have
Let us
poppy
know.
influences. Like every now and then we have a really poppy song that we really like to play. So
The ability of the band to adapt and expand their musical genre has resulted in a flood of offers for various types of gigs.
We've probably played 40 or 50 at this point as a band. Wow, I never really thought about that. Yeah. I would say maybe up to that, which is cool.
we start getting a lot more offers now.
Yeah, we get offers all the time. Like, it sucks because we have to turn some down because we're not huge and
Yeah.
we've got a smaller audience. We can't be like, oh, let's book a show this week and then next week, and because no one's gonna want to see us
Twice.
4 times a month. So we're like, we kind of try to spread it out, and then hopefully by touring we'll just gain more of an audience and stuff.
Especially from our friends like from here, like John Carroll. Like we'll have a show. Like this week, for example, we have a show on Thursday at the Garage Shop, but we're also playing Carroll Fest on Saturday. So we don't really like go to our John Carroll friends and tell them that we're playing that show because they're gonna get to see us for free on Saturday.
It's different per person who kind of lets us know about the show. Like, Carol Fest has kind of been a last minute thing. We knew it was coming up, but it was like, okay, let's start getting the ball rolling on things. But like normally a month to 2 months ahead of time, they'll be like, hey, we got a show in June, you down? Cool, yeah. But then like when it comes to like preparing ourselves for the show, like sure we practice here and there, but we always seem to practice like the day of. Right before the show, we go to my house, we jam out like some of the songs, like just to get a good feel, get yourself pumped, and then get to the show, relax a little bit, pump yourself up before you go, and just hit them hard. Honestly, I have no clue. Like, we just love playing music to like, just that energy, that reciprocating energy between like us and the crowd. Like, it's the best feeling in the world. As far as lyrics go, neither of us write the lyrics. Our singer Drew does. Cut to him. Yeah, like, I don't know.
I think it's just the energy that we get from the crowd and the crowd gets from us. Because I'll be honest, there's times where I go on stage and I don't remember what happens. Like I just kind of let it go. What happens?
Blur. Sometimes you just feel it and you're just going. Like not the last show, but 2 shows ago, our singer on the very last song just jumped off of his or your amp and like kicked my cymbal on the very last note and like basically broke his leg.
broken leg didn't hold the band back, and Steve was back on stage rocking out immediately for the next gig. While the audience might not anticipate who hit me to rock them into headbanging, the high energy of the band turned skeptics into believers.
Well, it's been a long year, I'm not sure I've got the elevation.
I feel like people are surprised by us when we play. I feel like they don't expect much. A lot of people come up to me and say, "Wow, you guys are actually really good," and like it's like, did you not expect us to be good?
I mean, normally, like with local bands, you kind of go in with the idea of they're a local band. They could be good, they could be really bad, and then you're normally surprised because you go in with like kind of neutral expectations. I feel, at least that's how I do it.
Mm-hmm.
The energy of the band often attracts some, let's say, eccentric characters.
Weirdest person at a show was at this place called Plymouth House. It's a house venue in Ohio City. This dude was on every drug imaginable. Like, I've never seen a guy more out of his mind. This was the first time. I don't know if he was the same guy the second time. I'll get there real quick. But the first time, he was just rapping, like, in between bands. Like, there's some setup, so he just took the mic and started rapping. I started jamming out for him. He thought I was Justin Bieber. He thought I was Justin Bieber. He thought John was
Taylor Lautner.
He thought Drew was with the,
I forgot. Oh, Ben, the guy who plays Batman.
Ben Affleck. And he's like, Steve looks like Andy. He's like, oh my God, it's Andy Samberg! And he did that for all of us. And he was just interpretive dancing like a maniac. It was amazing. It was the greatest thing I've seen from behind the kit. Just watching this dude go out of his mind. And then at the same place, so we played a show a few days ago, at the same place, I think it was the same guy. He was in a dress, interpretive dancing. He got naked at one point. Not during our set, but like afterwards we were just walking around and like hanging out at the merch table. He just came up to us naked.
Once you hear their music, we think you'll agree that that is something they will not have to rely on. Expect these guys to be doing big things in the future.
There's been times where I've had to like skip classes to like go and practice because we have a show coming up, either like a really big show where someone important might be there, and like, so yeah, it's like you have to find the right balance, but like at the same time, it's like I've had to like skip classes or like kind of put off work to like go to practice, but I'm like totally fine with it.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Like now that we have music out there on Spotify and like we know our songs. It's not like we're learning brand new songs for every show. It's just like a little cleanup every practice. We practice normally once a week, or try to. So it's not too bad. The work isn't like hindering on our music, vice versa too. We just came out with our album, our self-titled album, last September. So we're letting that kind of simmer as long as we can. Right now the plan is to just play as many shows as possible, possibly go on tour this summer, hopefully get out of Ohio and play a little bit. And then eventually probably work up to another EP, but this time on a major label. Not major label, but a label to like get our foot in the door there. And then after that, hopefully keep building stuff up to our second full length. Taking this and making it a profession is a dream, I think, for all of us in the band. Like, we definitely all want to do it and make a living off of playing music. I think that's the coolest thing in the world. But the music industry is really hard to get into, so we doing the school thing, getting that as our background, and just in case, you know. But the music hobby and dream will always be there, for sure, for me at least.
Yeah, Brett's like took the words out of my mouth. Like, it would be really cool to do it, and I'm doing like school, like he said, like kind of like a backup kind of thing, and because the music industry is really hard, and we have made ripples here and there, but like
we're hitting the Cleveland scene as hard as we can right now, and then we're gonna hit Pittsburgh. But yeah, it is hard though because it's an oversaturated market. Everyone is in a band nowadays, technically. It's just, I don't know. So there's a lot of people out there doing a lot of great things. We think what we do is great.
I would say for the Cleveland scene, we can't be more grateful because like we've really hit it big, kind of like in like the Cleveland punk scene. I would say like Grogshock like looks out for us and they'll contact us for shows.
Yeah, I mean I don't really know too many other bands that play our genre in Cleveland. Like there's just a lot of Cleveland's big in the metal scene. They're big in the rap scene, but like the underground kind of pop punk alternative scene it's not hit hard, so.
Unfortunately, during the process of this video documentary, we were unable to speak with the lead singer Drew nor the bassist Steve. Presented and put together by Matt McHugh, Alec Chankis, Evan Kinslow, and Cullen McMahon. Edited by Evan Kinslow, Alec Chankis, Matt McHugh, and Cullen McMahon.